Well, welcome back to Mr. Obsolete's Finished Homesteading. Well, we just scored some really excellent firewood here, and the trees that we've been taking out on the property are usually pretty small like this, so it's nice to get something big like this. So we had the Pioneer out in a former video and it quit on me, and I thought it was a carburetor, and did some inspections, found that the fuel line had broken half. Guess something's got to fail after 45 years on the job. So anyway, we got her all tuned up and ready to go here, and we'll cut this up, get the saw going here, get our eyes and ears on. There you can see that little saw cut's pretty good. Need to tune the carburetor just a little bit, but anyway, I'll finish cutting this up and we'll be back later with some more footage. Okay, well, we've got all the cuts in. You can see all that beautiful sawdust. That old Pioneer, for a 45-year-old saw, still doing its job. So we'll take our PV here and we'll roll a log. We'll get our finish cuts in. Okay, we'll be back as soon as we get the saw going. Well, we'll finish up the cuts. One thing, when the saw is running, you can hear it speed up and slow down. It has a built-in governor in the carburetor, keeps it from overspeeding. Anyway, works great after 45 years. Be back with some more chainsaw BS in a bit. Okay, welcome back to the second part of our video. This is vintage chainsaw BS. So we're going to talk about the saw here. It's a 1974 Pioneer P50, which is made in Canada. It's 82cc or 5 cubic inch. Got a 27-inch bar. It weighs 23.5 pounds, ready to go. You can see it's really a good cutter, powerful. These were used in commercial logging quite a bit in the Northwest here. And it's got a typical stuff. You can see there's no safety features on them particularly. There's no chain brake. Here's the chain dog. Oil fill, fuel fill, air filter. It's got a throttle lock here. Choke is right here. Kill switch is right here. It's got a very big muffler on it, so there's no real restriction. It blows exhaust out here. It's got a full wrap handlebar, which is really nice, and all position cutting. And I've had this saw for many years, and I've used it a lot. And bought a new bar and chain saw was free, and so my total investment in this thing, the carb kit and a few other minor things, has been about $100. If I bought a new saw to replace it, I'd be out $1,300 to $1,400. And being that I'm thrifty, or cheap if you will, vintage is for me. So the saw has quite a long lineage. Like 1974 was the first year. They made this version until 1977. In 1978 they came out with a P51, which is a little bit more modern. It has a compression release, which this saw really needs. It takes a lot to yank it through. And eventually they had one in the P52 where they had an overriding button for the chain oiler, which was really nice. That's why I like the McCulloughs, because they have that on virtually every model. So anyway, they made this until 1983 when they went bankrupt. And then Partner chainsaws from Sweden merged in with them, and they became Pioneer Partner. And they lasted for a few years, and then Electrolux, another Swedish company, owned Husqvarna, had bought Poland, and they bought Pioneer Partner, and they kept this saw in production clear up to 92, so it has an 18-year lifespan, and that's pretty good for a old saw. But this thing was very well designed. One of the features that the new saws, when the guys hop them up, put reed valves in them and stuff, a cage with reeds in them. This old saw has all that stuff in it, has the extra porting and stuff in it. And one other little interesting side note on this was that Outboard Marine Corporation bought Pioneer saws way back, and there was two reasons. They wanted to expand out of the outboard motor industry, but they got into snowmobiles, and the outboard motors they were producing had old style engines where they have a deflector piston. These, they had a modern schnurl porting, which I'll go into in other videos later in the fall here in winter. But it was a lot modern design, and so they used the design of the motor for their chains, from the chainsaws into the snowmobiles. And so they had when they entered the snowmobiles business, they had one of the most modern sleds on the market, and totally reliable, and everything was well proven. So anyway, there's a few drawbacks to owning an old saw like this. One, parts availability is very poor on them, and this chain on here I don't like. It's took me a while to figure it out, but it's just doesn't hold an edge that good, and so eventually I'll put a better type of chain on it. And so the only thing is, like I say, parts availability is poor and stuff, so if this has some kind of a dramatic failure, not is all lost, because I'll just make it into a wall hanger. And I'll go out to my favorite spot, Motorhead Shed, and bring out my mint condition P51. So if I get 45 years out of this one, I'll be happy. So vintage is always better, especially vintage chainsaws, and we'll see you on the next video.